Nitro RC Nerds, and this is my current projects for this week. First up is my beloved Losi 810. I'm going through a rebuild on it. Had her out at the track the other day, and we're actually running all of our cars. But this one right here, once again, for whatever reason, I just absolutely love. I'm a horrible driver, but for whatever reason, I'm pretty good at this. At least for me, I'm pretty good at driving it, and I had a blast. And old Ange was down there turn marshaling, and he told me later he could hear me screaming in the driver's stand, just yelling, "Hell yeah!" as I was going through and just getting it around the track. Obviously, this rebuild is something I won't complete in a week. I like to go nice and slow on things such as this, but I have to at least get it started. And I imagine it'll take probably 2 to 3 weeks for me to complete. And although I have a lot of replacement and upgrade parts, I'm sure as I go through, I'll find some areas that need attention, and I'll have to order parts for it. Also, I'm confident I'll strip some screws and stuff, so simply again, I'm just going to be very, very methodical with it. As for my D8T, you can see that I was able to get the new body for her put on. I call her Big Bertha. So I got that painted and trimmed as best I could. I think it turned out pretty good. Now I drive this thing like a bat out of hell, so I've been focused on making her as rough and tough as she can possibly be. Alright, so first things first on this is the slop that I've been struggling with. I think I got it under control now. I can't say it's completely fixed, but it's not affecting anything. It's not affecting the way it drives. It's not affecting any other parts. So I had to do a lot of things to get it to where I want it to be, but right now I think I'm definitely satisfied with it. In the end, I'm really not sure what caused it. I don't think I'm going to be able to really pinpoint that one area, because kind of my theory is that once one piece starts to wear, it has a bit of a ripple effect, and with all the jiggling and movement and whatnot, then it just begins to wear out on the other parts. So one of the things that I did that really, really helped was just use some Teflon tape around the bushings and the Ackerman, that go into the Ackerman plate, and around some of the ball studs and things like that. So that really made a good difference. I still have this stripped servo horn in here that I can't get off. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to worry about it until I need to take this horn here off. And so far everything has held up well, and I'm extremely happy with it. I'm to the point now where I'm ready to begin tweaking some areas. The only area that I want to work on for this week is fixing the rebound and increasing the down travel. So as you can see here, it wasn't reacting well after jump, so what I want to do is check the shock rebound on it. And you can see here, see, it's just going down. It's not really coming back up like I think it should be, at least. I'm running 40 weight in the front and 50 in the back, so I might increase the front to 45 to see if that helps. I might even have a leak in there that I'm unaware of. Who knows? I haven't seen it. I go through these things fairly meticulously, so I would think I would notice if I had a leak, but I think it's just time to service the shocks a little bit. Additionally, last week I was also able to rebuild the center diff, and I went from 7K to 10K oil in it, and that made a nice difference with respect to forward bite. Unfortunately, I didn't tighten the brake calipers as tight as I should have, so I want to go ahead and tighten those about 3/4 of a turn. And that's fine. I always usually kind of err on caution instead of dragging them. You never really know until you get it in, and I'd rather not obviously use my trim or anything like that to set the brakes. So I just need to tighten those, and other than that, it should be ready to rock and roll. The only thing I need to do with the Savage is get it ready for a sleepover. So what I mean by that is, one of my neighbors is interested in getting a 1/8 Nitro vehicle, and he likes my Savage the best. And he asked me the next time I have it out and running to come get him. So I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll do you one better than that. I'll get it ready for you, and you can test drive it. In fact, you can just keep it overnight. He's an engineer, and like me, he's really interested in how these things work. So he's a wrencher. I told him, you know, this way late at night, if you get bored, you can just kind of go through it and give it a good once over. And he's always coming over here while I'm working on these and asking, you know, what are you doing now? And sometimes I think he regrets it. As you know, he was here yesterday when I was rebuilding the clutch on my on my 810. And I went on and explained, how the clutch needs to engage at RPMs when the engine is delivering usable torque, and I explained lags and stumbles, etc. So essentially I just whip his ass with a load of information. But hey, he wants to know what I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing. He likes it though, so he needs to get a Nitro, definitely, and I highly recommend the Savage. So I'm just going to get it cleaned up, clean out the air filter. The only thing I need to keep an eye on is the last time we had it out, this pressure line came out of the exhaust just right here. It's no big deal. I can probably get wire ties or something. But I do want to keep an eye on the one-way bearing because last time I started, either it was slipping or I did not have the shaft in all the way correctly. So I don't know, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. That's for my Mugen. I just had it out at the track practicing, and there's good news, bad news. The bad news is this buggy has taken a lot of abuse, and I personally think I regressed with respect to driving it. It's got so much power, I want to go fast all the time. The good news is as much abuse as it's taken, nothing has broken on it. And when I built this, I was adamant about it being an absolute brick house, so I'm happy the way it's held up. In fact, the only thing that I've seen, and this happened the last time out, are these shock boots right here. You can see it just got completely chewed up. And these right here as well, you can see they're starting to come a little bit loose. I've ordered some new ones that will be here today, which I'll throw on. They're not cheap either. They're like 10 bucks. And I normally don't complain about the cost of this hobby and things like that, of course. But if they continue to tear like this, I'll have to look at another solution, perhaps like a black balloon or get a cheap pair that I can learn how to fit on there or something. Finally, I want to take the engine off and check the clutch and the bearings. And I also want to reset the gear mesh. You can hear it right there. I'm not sure if it's lost. Maybe it's just in my mind, but it sounds and feels like it's lost a little bit of its mesh. I got to kind of understand what's going on there. And I've noticed that the engine is getting tight, and that I have to loosen the glow plug just a tad to get it started. And the engine shouldn't be getting tighter, I don't think at least, so I need to figure out what that is. It shouldn't be my starter box batteries because they're starting all my other engines, no problem whatsoever. And the last time I started it, the flywheel got stuck at top dead center, and I had to loosen it with a screwdriver, even though the plug was almost completely out. So we'll see. I'm going to run it one more time, then I'll break it down and inspect all the internals. And then of course here you can see I need to give it kind of a good cleaning. I mean, I cleaned it afterward, just the basic wash, if you will, but I need to clean the air filter. I've got some new filters for it and stuff, but other than that, I'm very happy with this buggy. There's really nothing I need to do to the Hyper 7 this week. At this point, he's just waiting. He's going to be next on the rebuild list, so I'm going to go through it and rebuild everything. Last week, I was able to put a new receiver on it. I put a Spectrum SR201, which is pretty cool because in this way, what we can do is bind it with Andrew's DX3S. You can see here, the battery's almost dead, so not a lot of power to it. But now one thing about this, if you guys are going to be putting on any sort of a aftermarket standard size receiver, know this. This is the stock that comes with it. And when I took it out, I was like, huh, because this is very small. I don't have anything to compare it against, but the standard size are much bigger. So if you're going to get one, get a small, if you will. Anyway, so what I had to do is end up dremeling a little slot out of here so I could fit. It's already a tight fit anyways with everything in there, but I had to dremel just a little area, probably about 2-3 millimeters out, so that I could fit the receiver in it, and I just put duct tape over it. I'm going to come up with a better solution for when I take it out and bash it, but at least I got it in. Last but not least, we got this dirty old bastard right here, the Losi 2.0. My son, Andrew, his vehicle. That's why it's
Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating, so won't the real Slim Shady?
He'll clean off holding it because he knows I can't stand looking at it like this. I'm the guy that works on it. So with that, there we go. At least now we can see the buggy. The only concern I have with this buggy is, for whatever reason, it's beginning to lose its bind if it gets out of range, if you will. Not, out of range further than normal or anything like that, but I noticed it was happening at the track when Andrew was driving it. It also was occurring before that when I was tuning his engine and I was running it up and down the street. So I got to figure out what that is. I hope it's not the battery. I don't think it is. When we came back from the track, I put it on the charger and it was showing over 6 volts. So we're going to take it again this Sunday, and I'll make sure the battery's charged, and I'll probably bring an extra battery, and we'll work through it. We'll get it figured out. The other thing here, the throttle servo definitely sounds like it's on its last leg, so I'm going to begin looking for another one for him. And then finally, I still have the stripped grub screw in his shaft right here, and so I need to get that out. The reason I haven't is because I'm confident when I do, who knows what I'm going to jack up, and I'll probably need some extra parts, and I don't want to keep him from being able to drive it and go to the track. He's going to camp for a few weeks, leaving Sunday, so we'll drive it one more time, and then while he's away, what I'll do is go ahead and get in there and fix that for him, because I really want to put in a new bearing there. So that's what we have for this week. I hope you guys did not find this video too boring, but hey man, how can Nitro RC ever be boring? Thanks so much. Have a great day. I'm getting back on this machine right now.